Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Welcome. Those that are coming in late. Not late, but I mean, people coming in and out. My name is PJ Carmack. I'm studying business management and music technology development. I was a music major, but now I switched to INDS, and I have found myself a home, and I'm very happy with the decision that I made. As stated, my project is entitled Real-Time Interaction Technology Integration in the Music Industry. And before I get started, I just want to thank my advisors, Alan Wanenberger from the music department, who's the head of the recording department, Mike Rosenfeld, who's in engineering. He teaches entrepreneurship. He's also one of my advisors, Stephen McAlpin, who has helped me through the entire process of writing the proposals and writing the capstone and INDS proposals themselves, and also the entire department, because I've met everybody and it's been an amazing experience. So to get started, I was going to use this, but due to technical difficulties, we have to use iTunes, which is awesome. So here's my attention getter. I've got two samples. They're 11 seconds each. One of them was recorded in a studio with a $100 microphone. The other was recorded with a $500 microphone. Let's see if you can tell the difference. Oh, man. Hold on. Got it.
PJ needs to put his flash drive in because it's looking for the sound file. Did you get it in?
Sorry. Usually it adds it into the folder. One sec. Can't hear that at all. All right. So that's one. Here's the other one. I know, it's a tease. It's a good song, right? So, show of hands. First one. $100, $500. $100, raise your hand. $500, raise your hand. Second one, $100, raise your hand. $500? Yeah. Trick question, it was a $100 microphone. Both of them, same song. I had to make one sound better, I actually made one sound worse. And the point of it is that musicians are getting more and more access to technology. And they're able to record in other locations other than big studios. I recorded that in my basement. Granted, my basement has hardwood floors, 10-foot ceilings, but it has an alternative to recording in big-time studios, which is my main question, is can we hook up these musicians who are recording in their homes and in small studios with industry professionals to create an alternative to industry standard recording practices? So is it possible to create an alternative to professional music recording practices using real-time interaction technology? And how is this interdisciplinary? Well, my project is divided up into two different methodologies. I created a business plan for a recording studio that operates via the internet and the web. And this business plan was based off of interdisciplinary research that I wrote in a research paper. And in that research, I researched the use of information systems and information technology in other professional industries in an attempt to see how other industries are using technology to advance their industries. And so hopefully, I could create something that's completely new for one industry that's already being used in another. And so my integration strategies for this project were the explanation-action gap. For those of you who are not familiar with the explanation-action gap, it's the explanation of how to solve a problem from one academic discipline, in this case, information systems, provides the explanation. The technology is without a doubt available to create this new recording industry standard or alternative as time allows. And music provides the action. Without music, a recording studio is not going to be very successful. So this is my main integration strategy, and this research project involved Newell's 5 steps of integration, which I will go into in depth as this presentation goes on. So my findings, according to Newell, step 1 is to identify conflicts and insights, illuminating their source, and evaluating them. So I had to come up with conflicts within information systems and music. And I came up with these 4. Delay, which are different in music and information systems. So, people in the back of the room, 40 feet away. Little do they know, you can hear me just fine, right? Volume's good. You're 40 feet away. That means that you are actually experiencing 4 milliseconds of delay from the amount of time that it takes my sound of my voice to travel to your ears. People who are 10 feet away are experiencing 1 millisecond of delay. Now, that's how music perceives it as the speed of sound. Information systems takes delay and says it's the transferring of information, not necessarily sound. Quality, which is the quality of the recording for music, or the quality of the information being transmitted according to information systems. The cost, which is a conflict because if I'm going to start a small business, I'm not going to have that much money. And the internet is a billion-dollar industry. And the feasibility is the combination of all 3. How can I create the best possible solution and integrating these, or challenging all 3 of these conflicts? And so step 2 of the process is constructing common ground. And the common ground that I constructed between information systems and music is that they are both looking to reduce delay and increase quality. Everybody is looking to increase the quality of their internet browser and the transfer and their speed, everything faster, 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 better, 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 more efficient. And in music, if you're trying to keep a beat and you have someone who's off balance and off beat, right? It's impossible. It doesn't sound very good. It's not very musically appealing. So combining the 2 would allow for this new alternative to be created. And so constructing common ground brings me into identifying links between disciplines. And this is where my inter-industry research comes in. The research that I did involved the military, involved the video gaming industry, involved medicine, and involved education. These industries are all using information technology to advance their fields. And so the biggest finding that I had linking information technology that could lead to an alternative, which is the ultimate solution for my problem and question posed, is education's use of information technology. Now, education, which would link the 2 disciplines, or not link the 2 disciplines, but the links that I found between education and the music industry is that they're both looking for new alternatives to educate. And they're both looking for new alternatives for industry standards. Music is looking for ways to record people in a new fashion. Educators are looking for ways to educate in a different manner. There's now virtual classrooms. There's virtual that involve real-time interaction. There's chat rooms almost that are essentially classrooms. There's community colleges in the South that are completely online and completely digital. They use Wimba, not Blackboard, but they're developing these alternatives which aren't exactly industry standard yet, but they are alternatives, which is the question that I posed. And so, as I said, the web-based classroom and this new technology that they developed, higher education institutions have developed a new technology called Internet 2. And I know that Internet 2 makes it sound like it's completely different, but it's not. Internet 2 is the network that which the internet operates in higher education institutions. UMBC operates on the Internet 2 network. Okay? Think of it this way. If you're on the Beltway, 495, everyone familiar with 495? Okay. You are very crowded all the time. And if you've ever taken a toll road, it's not as crowded because you have to pay. And so, essentially, this Internet 2 would allow for, by joining it, it's a membership fee. Sorry. So, using this technology that education is developing, I want to integrate into the music industry. And so, using these technologies of Internet 2 and these existing technologies of ISDN lines and peer-to-peer connections, I've created something new, which is the fifth step in the RealStream Studio. And that's the business plan, which was based off of the interdisciplinary research.
We're out of time.
Oh, well, thank you.
This is my last slide.
Questions? Tell us about your business plan.
My business plan is the bomb. RealStream Studio is, as I said, it's a recording studio that operates via the internet. Okay? And it uses these technologies, which is the Internet 2 and ISDN lines. As stated, Internet 2 is a new network for people to operate on the internet. And it's developed by higher education institutions. And to join it, you have to be either, one, a higher education institution, or a business. And the membership to join the Internet 2 can cost anywhere from $10,000 annually to $60,000 annually, depending on how much revenue your business makes. And ISDN lines are digital phone lines that allow for a faster internet connection by dividing the phone line up into 3 different channels, which increases the speed at which you can access the internet. So this ultimately is going to decrease the delay, which is the ultimate conflict, and increase the quality of studio recording and allow for a new alternative to be created in the music industry. What?
Did you look at all at, just out of curiosity, did you look at all of like Avid's like Pro Tools 9 with the like the delay compensation that's out now?
I did.
And does it have any sort of like weight to this at all?
Delay compensation is crucial. I mean, technology, obviously, as you guys have found out, is always advancing. And DigiDesign is not necessarily looking to go to the internet with their recording, but obviously with more delay compensation, the better the connection is going to be. But that's not necessarily, that's more for in-studio recording, but really it's the network at which you connect to people where you're going to have the biggest delay, and that's not really necessarily the delay compensation in Pro Tools or the software that you're going to use. Pro Tools is the industry standard for recording music. And so I would say, yeah, it's important, but not what is the point of the main technology being used in the studio.
Last question?
Who's your market? I mean, you have your starving artists in the basement, and then you have those that can actually afford studio time. So who's the market there, and how would you reach them?
I would definitely say the starving artist is the market.
But you have to pay for that internet too, so that's my curiosity. I mean, if they're really starving, they can't afford you.
That's not necessarily true. By the brick and mortar studios have an increased cost, and the cost essentially is due to 4 main reasons. There's the time, the space, the emotional contribution, and the technology. Okay? So with this, I intend to take away space because you're not using my space, and you are using my technology and my emotional contribution. And so by taking away the actual studio, I intend to decrease the cost because I'm not paying a mortgage for the studio. I'm not paying for technology to sit around and do nothing when it's not in use.
So
kind of going on that, what's the difference in cost, do you think, like in your proposal between getting something recorded in an actual studio and getting something recorded on the internet?
See, the thing with cost is it varies from studio to studio. And it also depends on who records it. The person who actually records the music is the audio engineer. And so if you're just solely working with an audio engineer, they can make their own price. And it's always been that way. Recording is a very freelance industry where you name your own price. And so depending on the situation, depending on how big this might get and how many audio engineers might be involved, and also how many other studios might be involved, because it's software based, so I might essentially sell it to studios for them to use as well. So I mean it's hard to say, but essentially the idea is to reduce the cost.
Okay, thank you very much. We didn't even talk about licensing costs.